Hello friends, Alan here, and we are three-thirds of the way through Sanctuary, a book, a Faulkner novel that hasn't had me this overwrought and stressed and flustered since Light in August, where I ended up rooting for Joe Christmas. I just keep wanting Temple to do something, do more. I mean, she is definitely a victim at first, but she's had so many chances to escape. And it's curious. I wish Brian wouldn't have stopped at chapter 23 because chapter 24 it just takes off even more. We get a three-way situation going, literally, and another chance for her to escape. I mean, I wish she would have just said, when Horace visits her at the brothel, to come clean. But Brian has a great point and has swayed my mind about Lee Goodwin chooses to remain in prison, in jail, rather than, you know, telling the truth. And it just goes to show how Popeye has this malevolent influence on people. He must be totally frightening, totally demanding. He is, but is he so above the law? I just see, and I feel for Temple so much. I want her to do something. Maybe I'm putting 21st century tactics or whatever. They say if you're being abducted, never go into the car. Scream, yell out, do anything. Just don't go with your victimizer. I think alcohol has a lot to do with Temple's state of mind at this point. I mean, I'm sure there have been papers about alcoholism in Faulkner. Uh, it's just, and then I like what Roz said too early on about when Temple was first in the old Frenchman house, how she goes up and tries to make herself up and act like normal, and things aren't normal anymore. In fact, they're pretty whacked out. In chapter 19, there's a is it 19? Where Horace is in the train station and he goes to the men's room, and in the lavatory he saw scrawled on a foul stained wall her penciled name, Temple Drake. He read it quietly, his head bent, slowly fingering the unlighted pipe, his corncob pipe. Now any jealous boyfriend could have did that, but Faulkner put it in here to, shed ill light upon her reputation. It's just, of course I'm not blaming the victim here. I don't mean to sound like that, at least, but oof. Temple is clearly in a state of disassociation when she's talking to Horace in the brothel. You know how you do when you're scared? I was looking at my legs and I tried to make like I was a boy. I was thinking about if I was just a boy, and then I tried to make myself into one by thinking, if she was a boy, she wouldn't be getting molested. And then she thinks she's dead, and Horace, after interviewing her at the brothel, says she'd be better off dead. He gives up on her. He's trying to get her to testify in court. And that's another thing that, it's beyond the scope of chapter 23. So, like everyone else, I'm anxious to get to the ending. I've only read this once before, years ago. I don't remember the particulars, but we've got a chunk of the book left. Got about 100 pages left. And the court scenes are coming up. And chapter 25 is a horrendous chapter. So, how are you guys getting on with the novel? Let me know in the comments. I've been up and down with this book. It's really quite a roller coaster. And I expect hardly anything else from Faulkner. So I'm perplexed, like everyone else. To say enjoy is not the correct word, but I'm into the novel. I don't think it was just a brush off. I'm getting a lot out of it just by my emotions going up and down. It's quite a ride. Another thing I wanted to add is that Greg in our group mentioned the Stockholm Syndrome. And that's when, like a victim, somebody who's captured, kidnapped, falls in love with their captor. Now, is this the case? There's several scenes in Sanctuary where Temple calls Popeye Daddy, 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 you know, kind of gets close to him and that. But then there's many other scenes where she totally emasculates him. You know, insults him. Again, I'm not blaming the victim. It's in here. Not saying she brings that on herself at all, but it is in here. I think she does just want things to be done and over with. She is totally disassociating with you know, sexual trauma people, as I've heard and read about. I've been in a lot of group therapy in my life, believe me. So I've heard, you know how it goes. It's just I think it's a complex book, and it brings up a lot of emotion in me. I guess I'll leave it at that. I'm really anxious to get to the upcoming chapters. So there's much more ahead in Faulkner and August in this book. So again, I'd like to hear what you think. I appreciate your time and your consideration, and I'll talk to you later.